Welcome back to the Stocks Update. I'm really excited to have you here because in today's video, we're diving deep into everything Lucid Motors related. There's a lot happening: some market activity, new executive hires, potential supply chain hiccups, price target updates, short interest movements, and even broader macroeconomic factors impacting the company's momentum. As always, I'll be breaking down every piece of the puzzle in simple, digestible terms, so make sure you watch till the end for a full picture. To start things off, let's take a look at how Lucid is performing in the pre-market session. As of now, Lucid stock is hovering around flat territory, not really up, not significantly down either. It's drawing a modest amount of attention, but trading volume remains quite low. This kind of movement typically indicates that institutional investors, often referred to as smart money, are waiting for the regular trading session to begin before making any substantial buy or sell decisions. It's shaping up to be an intriguing trading day, especially with the futures market showing a slight downward trend. A lot of this cautious sentiment can be attributed to anticipation around the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, which is scheduled for release at 9 a.m. Historically, this data point has had a noticeable influence on the broader market. In fact, over the last 5 instances, the market has shown weakness following its release, so investors are understandably treading lightly. Switching gears slightly, there was some surprising overnight news that might not be getting the attention it deserves. Reports are suggesting that China is considering exempting certain U.S. goods from its steep 125% import tariff. While it's still early days, this could be interpreted as China taking a tentative step toward easing trade tensions with the United States. This development is notable because, up until now, most of the goodwill gestures in the ongoing trade dialogue have come from the American side. This marks the first significant move from China, and if it turns into a broader policy shift, it could lead to positive sentiment across global markets, especially for American manufacturing and technology companies like Lucid Motors that are aiming for international expansion. Had it not been for the looming Michigan sentiment report, we might have seen a much stronger upward reaction in the stock market. But for now, that optimism is being held back by nerves around incoming data. Back to Lucid itself. Interestingly, the company hasn't released any new press announcements or SEC filings today. It seems they've adopted a bit of a radio silent strategy, at least for the moment. This isn't necessarily a red flag, but it does make us depend more heavily on third-party reports, insider chatter, and social media leaks for any hints about what's going on behind the scenes. However, one significant update came through recently. Lucid has hired a new Chief Marketing Officer (CMO). This new hire is someone who has held marketing roles at major brands like Red Bull and Beyond Meat. While some people in the community are quite excited about this appointment, there's also a fair amount of skepticism. Here's why. Although this executive has experience with well-known companies, their tenure at Beyond Meat raises eyebrows. Beyond Meat had a promising start but ultimately failed to live up to expectations, especially in terms of brand visibility and marketing penetration. Many observers feel that their marketing strategies lacked depth and didn't connect with broader audiences. So naturally, some investors are wondering if this is the kind of direction Lucid needs at this critical stage. For now, it's a wait-and-see situation. As always, execution will matter more than resumes. Another topic making waves among Lucid enthusiasts is a new rumor about potential supply chain disruptions impacting the Lucid Gravity SUV rollout. A post on social media, allegedly a leaked customer email, hinted that certain technology packages for the Gravity model are currently unavailable. In the message, customers are being asked to either downgrade to a simpler configuration or consider a more expensive one, the D package. This isn't confirmed by the company, so let's approach it cautiously. Still, it wouldn't be the first time supply chain challenges have interfered with Lucid's production goals. Remember the early stages of the Lucid Air rollout. The same pattern of delayed deliveries, unavailable options, and last-minute adjustments was present back then too. Many customers who ordered the Gravity were likely budgeting for a specific configuration. Being told to either pay significantly more or accept less than what they expected is frustrating. It also potentially limits Lucid's ability to scale their order fulfillment and deliver a consistent customer experience. Moving on to analyst sentiment. A notable development came from analyst Robert Bard, who assigned a $3 price target to Lucid stock. Now, while $3 may not sound catastrophic in this bearish climate, the devil is in the details. The analyst also revised down Lucid's revenue estimate from $255.6 million to approximately $249 million. That's about a $6.6 million reduction on average, which implies that Bard himself may have cut his individual forecast by $15 to $20 million or more. This signals declining confidence in Lucid's short-term financial performance, despite the relatively stable stock target. On the flip side, a lower consensus expectation heading into earnings season could set the stage for a positive surprise if Lucid manages to beat those reduced estimates. And we've seen this play out before. In Q3 and Q4 last year, analysts lowered their expectations in advance, only for Lucid to deliver better than expected results. So, this could be another setup for an earnings beat, though that depends heavily on how the company executes over the next few weeks. Let's talk about the short sellers. As of today, roughly 23.35% of Lucid's free float is being shorted, which translates to approximately 283.7 million shares. That's a substantial number. In fact, just in the past 24 hours, short interest increased by 4.8 million shares, suggesting that bearish traders are doubling down on their positions. Interestingly, the day before, shorts had actually reduced their exposure by around 780,000 shares, only to ramp it back up the next day. This flip-flopping indicates that shorts are very actively trying to manage their risk while still pressing their bets. Now, let's bring in the options market. Since today is Friday, it's options expiry day. At the $2.50 strike price, there are 20,000 open contracts. That's a huge volume. What this means is that if Lucid stock manages to climb above $2.50 and hold there into market close, market makers may be forced to buy shares to cover those contracts, potentially causing a sharp spike upward, also known as a gamma squeeze. This adds a layer of intrigue to today's trading session. If Lucid closes strong, Monday's opening could start with a pop. Currently, Lucid is trading right around $2.45, which puts it almost exactly at its 50-day moving average. This technical level is crucial. Historically, whenever Lucid has closed above the 50-day average for 2 consecutive sessions, we've seen follow-through moves of 30% to 40% within the next few days. Traders and algorithms alike pay close attention to these kinds of signals. So, if Lucid can maintain or build on today's price strength, it could ignite a bigger rally next week. In terms of key levels, $2.55 is the next resistance zone, while $2.33 is a strong support level. Even if today's consumer sentiment data comes in weak, it seems unlikely that Lucid would breach below $2.33 unless there's a significant negative catalyst. Overall, Lucid just needs a little help from the broader market. A soft boost perhaps from positive macro data, institutional buying, or favorable sentiment could be enough to kick off a new short-term uptrend. So, where does this leave us? Lucid finds itself at a crossroads. On one hand, challenges like supply chain constraints and cautious analyst sentiment continue to weigh on the stock. On the other, positive technical indicators, a potential shift in international trade policy, and lowered expectations heading into earnings provide some hope for upside surprises. Will Lucid rise above the noise and show strong execution in the coming weeks? Only time will tell. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your take on the latest Lucid developments? Are you concerned about the supply chain rumors? Do you believe the new marketing chief will help transform the brand image? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you in-depth market analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care,